Yo, what up, people? It's your buddy Philko here, reporting live from your mama's house. Doing my thing as I usually do. Hair, just did a little quick cut down. No shave. I hate shaving. It gives me bumps. And of course, I basically just want to fill you guys in on yesterday. Yesterday was the party. If you are not following me on Instagram, you need to get on that. You can have a quick glimpse of how the party went. I made 2 little videos. At any given time, there was a lot of girls in here. I would say any given time, starting at like 8 o'clock, there's anywhere from 9 to like 17 girls at any time, and you can see it in the video. Yeah, things went great, but one thing that stood out was I invited a girl. Now, if you're a longtime fan of mine, you would remember maybe 3 years ago, or no, more than 3 years ago, this is 3.5, 4 years ago, when I first came to the city, when I just came to visit, when I was touring, when I was doing the YouTube stuff and I was just touring. When I first came to the city, I was what the fuck was I doing? I was doing some shows and shit, doing the little speaking club. Not even speaking club, they were shows because I was fucking on a stage and talking to like 100 girls and shit about, being an American guy, whatever the fuck. And when I was doing this show, how it came to be was I was invited here by a girl. And I don't want to say her name now. No, I'll say her code name. Her code name was Alonka. We made some videos together. They might still be there. She had like really big boobs and extremely blue eyes. Anyone who knows her for her blue eyes. And this is about 4 years ago. Well, now she's married. She has a child and everything. She's moved on. She became an adult. Which is the reason we actually split, because most women, especially when they're older than like 26, we usually end up not dating at one point because they're like, no, I'm ready for something serious. I want children. And I'm always like, I don't, And by the way, just in case you guys don't know, Olga got married. If you've been watching me for a while, she got married. So a lot of the girls from my past are getting married. They're having kids, which is great, but that's not for me. At the time when I was with her like 4 years ago and living with her, and I wouldn't say she was supporting me, because the arrangement we had at that time was I would live at her apartment for free, so the company who invited me there wouldn't have to pay for me to live anywhere. But I thought they would give some of the money from the show to her as well for letting me stay with her. So it was me and a company, and I said, you got to get me a place to stay. And I'm like, well, we could do a deal with this girl, because there's a girl who wants me there, and I can live with her, and I won't. You guys won't have to pay me anything. You could just talk about that with her. It might be cheaper. They ended up not paying her anything, and just because she was being nice. That's another reason we stopped talking, because she's too nice. And to me, when you're too nice, especially when you're losing money behind it, I can't fuck with you. That was another thing. But anyway, when I was with her and stuff, I met one of her friends named Olya, and this girl's tall chick. There's a lot of tall chicks coming here. And when I say tall, I mean like 5'10", around that. Which is tall in Russia, because they're going to wear high heels. So this makes them outside 6'1", 6'2". So 5'10" is tall here because they always wear high heels. Fucking rain, sleet, snow, don't matter. So 5'10" and up is tall to me in Russia for a girl. There's a lot of girls who are 5'10" or more here. And one of them I invited was a girl named Olya, who was a best friend, I believe, of Alonka back in the day. And when I met Olya, I was with Alonka, and we went to the place. We went to her place, which was in the center, not too far from here, maybe. It's right next to my gym, so it was like a 6-minute walk, kind of. And I remember telling her, I was like, man, hopefully one day I'll be able to afford a place of my own, and especially one that's in the center of the city. At that time, I couldn't afford to live on my own and stuff, and I guess she was giving me words of encouragement. She's like, oh, I'm sure you can find something that's not too expensive. I'm sure you can find something, maybe not really in the center, but maybe something near it, and I'm sure you'll be happy, blah, blah, blah. Then I left Alonka's place, went to another place, which wasn't in the center, but once again, I was living with a girl, and I was communicating with her, and that's when communication stopped. Like, the last she knew of me was I was trying to find my way in Novosibirsk. I was trying to get enough money to just get my own apartment anywhere, preferably in the center, but I couldn't afford it. It was just a dream, and blah, 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 blah. Fast forward 3 years later, she comes over to my place. There's like 30 people in here, and you already know what my place looks like. And she was just in absolute shock. And I'm like, the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I didn't really understand why she was like just so impressed. She's like, wow, Phil, I can't believe this and that. Everything worked out. I didn't understand it until after the party, and I remember our history. I remember her living. It's funny because When we stopped communicating, I left the city, came back, and I had a place near the center, but I wasn't paying for it. It was a whatever apartment, but we had a lot of parties there. My neighbors never complained. You know, the reason why I can't really party here all night is because my neighbors are, you know, just downstairs. Basically, not even just that, just in this building there's a lot of important people. You know, the owner of the apartment explained it to me. I see the cars outside, so I try not to rub anyone the wrong way. Not even the security guard, because he has to let girls in and out of the gate all night because you got to get through a gate to get here, and you can't leave without him opening the gate if you don't have the key. So I try to make the job easier for him, so I try to go downstairs when I can, let people in and let people out. So I don't want to piss him off, and then he'll start complaining. Everyone in the building start complaining because of the people who live here are important people, according to the owner of the apartment. And but before, so first I was living in that crazy apartment where it was just regular people and we were able to party all the time. Didn't matter what anyone said. Then I moved to a second apartment, which was actually not even a minute walk away from where she was living. And this one I had on my own. It was a nice apartment. It wasn't bad. It was decent. It wasn't even half the amount of this apartment, but it was decent. It was decent, and it was near her. She didn't know, you know. And then from there, I moved here on my own. And this, you know, this apartment isn't just in the center. This apartment is the center. Like if I lived on Times Square, my dude, I'm in the ball. Like I'm not joking. Like the statue is right outside my apartment. Like if I had a clear shot of it, I could probably hit it with a rock or a football. I could hit it with a football. Like I'm right in the center, and the statue is the center of the city. So I guess when she came here, she expected maybe I lived with someone or maybe I was in the same situation, but the situation had changed, and it was good to see her, you know, smile and, you know, just feel good about my situation. It was cool. It was really cool. I was like, damn, I forgot. Last time I saw you, I was fucked up. You know, I've had some fucked up times here. I told you guys, I had some fucked up times in Russia where things didn't go my way. You know, I'll never forget the most dramatic moment in my life in Russia, my living in Russia history, will always be that time I was on the train and I didn't have anywhere to go. I remember that. I will never forget that shit in my life. I was on that train thinking, like, how did my life end up like this? I had just left Ukraine because my visa stay was up. Not because I was running from nobody. That's bullshit. It was because I didn't understand the rules, which was very fucked up of me. And whenever I travel now, I research hardcore before I go. But I thought the 3-month stay was like my 6-month stay in Russia. So in Russia, if you come on a visa, a business visa, 3 years, you can stay for 6 months, but then you have to leave, at least even for a second, and come back, and you can stay another 6 months. And in Ukraine, it's 3 months, but it's not just 3 months, it's 3 out of 6 months without a visa if you're American. 3 out of 6 months. So if I go January, February, March, I can't leave and come back. I have to go January, February, March, leave, April, May, June, come back in July. So at the time I figured that out, I had already been there for fucking 2 months and 3.5 weeks. I had to pack up and leave 2 days after I paid my rent. And I had a great place in Ukraine, but Ukraine is dirt cheap. Dirt fucking cheap. I mean dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. I wasn't exactly in the center either, so it was even a little cheaper, but it was dirt cheap in Ukraine. Especially at that time with the crisis that was going on. But here is a little more expensive than Ukraine, this city. And Dnipropetrovsk is the city I was in. This is Novosibirsk. And I had to leave, and I had nowhere to go. But I was like, all right, I'm going to just go to Russia. I could have went back to New York, or I could have flew to Russia. But I had just left New York, like maybe a month and a half before the situation. And the reason I was in Ukraine was because the girl I was dating at the time, Crazy Face, she left me. We were planning on moving to Budapest together. But she left me like a week before we were supposed to fly off. I bought tickets and everything. And she just left me for some dude, and I was screwed. And I wasn't even mad at her because I understood, you know, women want, I know my hair's fucked up. Women want a real relationship. And she was with me for like a year, and she couldn't take it anymore, and she left, you know. And I remember one girl asked me, it doesn't bother you when these girls leave you? I said, no, because I understand. I understand. I ended up getting on the train from Dnipropetrovsk to Kiev. Then I got on a different train from Kiev and just was like any train going to Russia, I was getting on it. So I got on did I take it? No, I might have taken an airplane. Yeah. I took a train from Dnipropetrovsk to Kiev, took a plane from Kiev to Moscow, then from Moscow just hopped on a train going east. Because I didn't want to stay in Moscow. I might have stayed in Moscow one night at this hotel, because I was always at this hotel. And I didn't want to stay in Moscow because it was too expensive. And at the time, my money wasn't doing great because this channel got shut down from monetization, shut out from monetization. And this was 90% of my income at that time. So I couldn't afford to be spending money I didn't need to spend. So I ended up getting on the train, heading east because I was like, any city's better than here. And literally while I was on that train, I was heading nowhere. I just remember seeing me pass cities and stuff, and I'm just on this train just trying to figure something out. So I ended up going on VK, and I don't remember exactly how it happened. I was probably drinking too, just to calm myself down a little bit. And luckily for me, I was traveling. It was a waste of money, but I was traveling Luke's, which means I had a cubicle just for 2 people, and luckily no one was in there with me, so I had privacy to just think and relax. Long story short, I ended up going on VK, which is like the Russian Facebook, and I remember this girl I was talking to maybe 2 months ago when I was in her city. I asked her, do you still live by yourself? Are you looking for a roommate? She said, yeah. And I ended up getting off in one city, taking the airplane right to her city, and I was there. The same city which I had left for Ukraine, I came back, but I didn't tell Crazy Face because it was her city. I just went there, and I was minding my business. So that was the most dramatic moment. So things didn't really start going good for me, money-wise, until February 2016. That was when my money issues was over. Like, I didn't think about money after that, and I still haven't. I haven't worried. Let's say worried. I'm always thinking about it. I haven't worried about it since then. Before, I would have like maybe $6,000 in my bank account, and I would buy round trip tickets to New York and all this shit, and I'm paying like $1,000 to renew my visa. That's like half my total. I remember that shit. That shit was crazy. I had to count every dollar back then, bro. I had to count I'm not rich, but I'm just comfortable, and I just had to count every dollar back then, man. I remember that shit. Every dollar, man. Every dollar I had to count it. Man, I gotta make a book about my life here. But I can't say my life was bad. It was just interesting here. Even when I didn't have money, I can't say it was bad because I always had people to support me because I was really popular, and now I'm becoming popular again. And that's what these parties are about. They're coming here to see the Naked Teacher, which is my new persona on YouTube, my new character. And, if you watch the video I uploaded called Meet the Woman of Your Dreams, the first girl in the video is a girl who's been a fan of mine for a long time. Fan. I don't want to say groupie, but hardcore fan. She's the one saying, oh, I'm here to learn English with the Naked Teacher. He's so hot. Like, she's been following me forever. Like, there's a lot of girls here who follow me. Like, the girl who was here last night, she was, like, the first girl in the group picture or group video on my Instagram. She's like really cute, like white top, and she was like hands on, drink in her hand and the other hand on the pool table. She's a fan. She's a 19-year-old chick. She's a huge fan, and she's been a fan of me since she was 15. And a lot of teenagers grew up on my videos here in Russia, and I'm learning that. A lot of them are now turning 18, 19. They're in college and shit, but they grew up on my videos like during their teenage years. That's something. That's really something. They showed my old videos in universities and high schools. Not the new ones, but the old ones. And she's always going, I can't believe I'm in your apartment. I can't believe I'm with Philko, the Naked Teacher. I can't believe it. And these chicks just be bugging like that. And it's cool. It always makes you feel good when they do that. It always makes you feel good. And the purpose of this video was supposed to be about the party, but I just went into other shit. Well, I guess I'll title this video dealing something with Olga. And the girl, that's the girl who came here, and she reminded me of my struggles prior to living here. Because now my only struggle is finding a luxury apartment that I like that we can party in. Before my struggle was finding a place to live, period. Now, when I look for apartments, the way I specify it drives these motherfucker realtors crazy. I'm like, top floor. It has to be top floor. I want sauna and a jacuzzi. If it doesn't have it, I don't want it. And it has to have neighbors who don't give a fuck about noise. Like, I have a lot of specifics that I need covered. If not, I'm going to just stay right here. Because I'm good here. You know what I mean? Only thing here is that we can't be really loud like around midnight. But other than that, it's worth it. Because the thing you can do is, like, if you want to throw parties at your place, You just party at your place. And if you gotta leave early, hey, let's go somewhere else. You take the party somewhere else. You get all the guys out in your place. Then you be like, hey, how about me, you, and you go back to my place, and you take a few girls back. You could do that. You know, so there is an advantage to leaving the party early with everybody. You get everybody out, you bring a few select people back. You know what I mean? And we did that last night. We brought back a few select people, me and my friend Yuri. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of like when you host a party, you know that you're going to get it in. Like, you know it. Like, if you're a popular person, you throw a party, you know you're going to get it in regardless. You're going to get it in. Something's going to happen, you're going to get it in. You just got to figure out how and who. But you're going to get it in 100% if you want. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I'm enjoying it. And yeah, so subscribe to my Instagram, man. Check out those videos I made yesterday. They're alright. And you'll notice in the first video, a lot of girls who were there. In the second video, who were not in the first video, blah, blah, blah. And I guess that's really it, man. Check out Tim and Eddie's stuff with their marriage agency. They're going to set up tours for people who want to come out here, because I know a lot of y'all hit me up. Yo, help me come to Russia. And I don't really have the time for that, man. I'm too lazy. But Tim and Eddie will take care of you. These guys, they know how to party. And I'm out, people. Later.